The Wyfold Challenge Cup, where we have Molesey's B boat, all of course in black on the Bucks side, and from Ireland the Commercial Rowing Club in green and blue. They are on the Berkshire side, left of the screen as we look at it, closest to all of the enclosures. And look at, there's a steerage issue again right from the start.
Yeah, Molesey coming right across, and the Irish moving to try to stay clear of them. Molesey are now right in the middle of the court, bit of a steering error. They'll want to correct that as quickly as possible, and the umpire then warning Molesey again to get back across to their station. They're impeding each other. The Irish have got the better of this, partly because Molesey have veered and done some extra distance at this point, and now they emerge from the end of the island. It becomes easier to steer, so one of the oarsmen is looking back down the course and steering. When there isn't much course behind you, it's actually quite hard to get the line, and now they're within the booms, they'll get the line.
What would the umpiring interpretation of all that be, do you think, Matt? Because there's an argument that Molesey forced the Irish crew away from where it really wanted to be.
Yeah, that's right, and the umpire warned Molesey as soon as they started to come into the water of the Irish crew. And the Irish crew chose to steer away. They could have held their water. They chose to steer away, and it looked like that was a good decision because they kept clean, kept out of the way of the Molesey boats. Their oars were not impeded. As a result of that, I think they've stretched out to a nice early lead. As we look back down the course, we can see the Irish look to be sitting ahead there. This is half the 8 that won the Dublin Metropolitan Regatta. Several of them had raced for University College Dublin, so some good experience in this boat. And they seem to be in a commanding position now relative to Molesey. Suffered there early on with a bit of an S-bend where they didn't need to be, but I think you can see a difference in the length and the strength and the stable platform that the Commercial Rowing Club have to give them the lead they have as they come through the middle of the course.
Yes, rowing out of boathouse located at Island Bridge, the calm protected waters of the Upper Liffey. Means that they're able to train pretty well year-round there. They also have access to a boathouse on Blessington Lake in Wicklow. Whilst I've never been to that part of the world, it sounds idyllic and a wonderful place to learn to row and to develop oneself within the sport.
Yeah, great place to be, and it's great to see so many entries coming from outside the UK to this regatta. Huge number of international entries, and of course a great opportunity for all of these oarsmen to row with the best in the world. An event that encompasses the top class at all levels of the sport: junior, club, student, and international. Later in the week, we're going to see in the Grand Challenge Cup the Deutschland 8, which just broke the world record for men's 8s recently in Poznan. So to row on the same track in the same event as crews of that class is phenomenal, and something that's really inspiring to all of the oarsmen.
Right, so I'm not one for cooking up controversy where it doesn't exist, but just because they are so clearly comfortable in going forward and there is no controversy, had they been cussed at the start and refused to make the choice to change their direction, and Molesey were rowing at them, what would the umpiring predicament be there? Were Molesey putting themselves in danger, frankly, of a red flag? Yeah,
they're in danger of disqualification. If you were to impede the other crew such that the umpire judges it to affect the outcome of the race, then you could be disqualified, and they would have been within their rights to do that had that happened. That's a hypothetical situation in the past, of course, but didn't happen in this case, and I think Molesey just a little bit unlucky getting off less than straight. So say it's really difficult if you're steering a coxless 4 on this particular course. You sit on the start, you look up behind you, and there's a pole and a Y-shaped segment in front of the pole, and you try and line those two things up to give you the sense that you're in a straight line. Once you get out of the island, you've got the booms on either side you get a much clearer view that you're in the right position, but you see lots of crews having trouble, particularly in windier conditions as they emerge from that end of the island, and so Molesey a little bit unfortunate there. But it looks from the form as we go down the course that it hasn't affected the overall outcome of the race. Molesey, I should declare an interest, my club, have a very strong squad. These guys had to qualify to get into this event and had a good go, but I think you can see very clearly here Commercial Rowing Club with that experience in the boat from UCD and from that strong win in the Met Regatta in Dublin. Really nice way of rowing the Coxless 4 here. It's a lovely boat to row.
So your boys will pick up medals elsewhere, will they?
It's possible.
He said no more. tight-lipped. Tight-lipped.
But it's tough competition, you know. It's really
yes,
tough competition.
yeah.
Nobody can assume anything when you get towards the final stages of this event.
So the crew from the Commercial Rowing Club in Ireland, with Michael Corcoran in the bow, Fionn Groom at 2, Corn Dowling at 3, and the stroke Shane McCoyne are in a luxuriant position of being able to ease themselves up towards the line in a manner not necessarily typical of the whole day's racing, and they will progress in the Wyfold Challenge Cup, where they will be involved on Thursday against Curlew, who saw off Bedford an hour or so ago in a very, very exciting race.
Yeah, here we see Commercial Rowing Club again. From the shot ahead of the crew, you can see how well they're moving in sympathy with the boat. They all swing their hands away and slide forward together. Lovely loose movement, obviously not under pressure here, but just putting down a bit of power, trying to establish the shape of the stroke that they want when they are under more pressure, perhaps later in the week.
Yes, the second half of the race was principally about tomorrow, because they have done what needs to be done today. Commercial Rowing Club Ireland victorious over the Molesey Boat Club B 4, and they move forward in the Wyfold Challenge Cup.